Rounding. Let's quick review of decimal places. Let's say that we got 4,321.1234. This is the ones column, followed by the tens, hundreds, thousands. This is the tenth, hundredth, thousandth, and then 10,000th. So when rounding, if you're told to round, for example, to the nearest hundreds, what you're trying to determine, is this 3 going to stay a 3, or is it going to bump up 1 and be a 4? To determine that, you look one digit to the right. If this digit is a 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, then that's going to stay a 3. If this digit is a 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, then it's going to bump it up to a 4. Everything else then becomes zeros. Example 1. What is the value of 1,736 and 194 10,000s? Rounded to the nearest 100. So here's our 100. We look one to the right, which is a 3. Since it's below a 5, it's going to round down, which is going to make this 1, 8, 0, 0. Everything else becomes a 0 after that. Number 2, what is the value of this number to the nearest thousandths? This is thousandths. If you look one to the right, it's a 9. It's going to make this an 8, 0. So we got 2, 3, 4, 2, 6, 8. So 0 here on the end, which you don't have to write. Ordering decimals and fractions. Which of the following correctly lists the values and orders from largest to smallest? Well, let's look at this first list. We are going from trying to get from largest to smallest. So it starts out with a whole number 1, and then it goes to whole numbers zeros. That's good. So we got each of these are 1. So as far as whole numbers go, they're in the right order. Then we look at the tens and hundreds. They're all 1-3s. So that's good. Then let's look at the 4s next. See, this is out of order because of this number right here. If it says 1.13, that means there are zeros after it. So if you compare 3 zeros, this is 467, this is 460, this is 500, this is 465. We're really comparing those numbers at the end. So that's not correct. So we would want to go from 500, which is this one here. At this point, once we know what the numbers are, we should just write them in order and then see which list is correct. And I'm doing that wrong because we got to first start out with the whole numbers. So those whole numbers are correct, which is true for all 4 of these. We've already said this one's not the correct answer. Then for these next 3 numbers, it should be this one, followed by this one, followed by this one. Because this one is 460, this is 500, and this is 467. So that's happening here in G. Alright, that was not the greatest explanation. If you need help with that, let me know. Number 2, the following table gives 5 monthly precipitation totals for Seattle. List the months according to participation from most to least. So these are both 39s. So obviously that's going to be 1 and 2. Not sure which one is 1 and which one is 2. This one's going to be third for sure, because it's 38, and then these ones are going to be 4 and 5. So we need to compare these fractions to see how these fractions stack up with each other. So 3/4 and 5 and 3/5. Best way to do this, the easiest, fastest way I should say, is to put these into your calculator. 39 and 3/4 is going to be 39.75. 39 and 3/5 is going to be 39 and 0.60. So this one's bigger, which means we are now at, let's see, 1, 2, 3. Then comparing the half and the 2/5. 2/5 is less than half, because 2.5 out of 5 would be half. So this is 4 and 5. Make sure we answer the question right from most to least. So it should be March, then April, so we got 2 left, March and April, and then May. So there we go. Here's the correct answer.